Is this thing on?
I think so.
Did you press the button?
No.
You're very confused. I know, it's been a long time. Testing, 1, 2, 3. The levels aren't moving. Is it on? Dude.
Yeah.
You think? Okay. Well, I don't know. This is very confusing. Well, what's the button that you press to make that annoying song come on?
That one.
We're theme park families.
Theme park families.
We're theme park families.
Won't you join us now?
We're theme park families.
Thanks for joining us, we aim to please.
If roller coasters got you weak in the knees,
We're theme park families.
if you wanna find the best dessert or
Take a potty break with privacy,
find a coaster that is tame for little ones,
or one to make you scream.
we're theme park families.
Everybody's at a bad baby.
Rescuing you all from my surgeries.
We're theme park families.
We're theme park families.
Press the space bar. Get it?
Yay!
Hey everyone, I'm Adam.
I'm Andrew.
It's great to be back after a long time. 9 months since our last episode, which seems crazy to believe. And in that time, Andrew is now 6'3". He's got a full beard, a wife and kids. And what is your career? What are you doing now?
I am a professional baseball player.
Ah, very cool. What team are you on?
The Yankees.
All right, awesome. Well, I'm sad that you're not playing, but
That sucks.
once the games start back up, I'll be watching.
Alright.
Well, thanks for joining us after such a long time off. And in this episode, we'll get into what we've been up to, why it's been so long since we recorded, and the future of the podcast and the whole theme park family's world. But first, before we get into all that stuff, let's get some news.
If not running coasters will give you the blues, it's Andrew's news. Everything's closed. That's it.
That's the news for this episode. Everything is closed. That's very, very sad. And it's kind of taken over the world. And in some ways, nice that this little break in the world has given us a chance to rethink the podcast and get back into things and start recording again. So in that way, I guess it's sort of a positive, but it stinks for all the theme park fans out there that all the parks are closed. Even Fun Spot was one of the last to hold out, and Fun Spot has recently closed as well, as a lot of people were concerned about the fact that they were even still open. So that kind of stinks, huh, buddy?
Yeah.
Now, what's sadder for you, that the theme parks are closed or that the schools are closed? It's a tough one, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, schools because, I can't see my friends in person. I can text them and call them or whatever, but... And then theme parks, obviously, because, you can't go on roller coasters anymore or be in that whole theme park atmosphere. Yeah, so
both are just sad.
Yeah, equally sad.
And speaking of closing, before the closings for virus reasons, what were the parks that we knew of that also closed permanently? You remember?
Yes. It was the one in Canada.
One close to Canada.
Yeah, in Buffalo.
Yeah, just north of Buffalo, Fantasy Island.
And then Indiana Beach.
Yes, both Apex parks that other podcasts by now have certainly talked about plenty. And not to go into those details, but were you surprised about Fantasy Island at all?
Not really. It looked a little rundown.
You know, it was sad, and Doug was very nice to have us, and, there were certainly things about the park when we went with Clint and Sherry that you could say that were positives, including the Comet, which was terrific.
And their food was good, too.
And the food was great, and that wonderful caterer who put that all together was terrific, and it is kind of sad, and I know a lot of the rides have been shipped out already. In contrast to Indiana Beach, where there have been a lot of speculation about tax breaks and everything else to get a new owner into there, as a lot of people are kind of clamoring for Indiana Beach to stay open. Now, we haven't been to Indiana Beach, right?
Nope, not yet.
But
not ever, maybe.
Yeah, exactly, which is kind of sad. What intrigued you about that park? From what you heard about it or anything like that?
Wasn't it was just like little flat ride that EB talked about. It was like the Popcorn Express. Was that? Never mind.
Yes. Popcorn Express is like the Apollo at Dorney Park is what that's like at Darien Lake.
I know nothing.
So you know nothing about it. That's the one that's on the pier that goes into the lake.
No clue.
And Cornball Express. That's the wooden ride. So you're right there.
Yeah,
that's one you were
what
thinking
I
about. Cornball Express. Right. So you were kind of right. And then it's got the Hoosier Hurricane, which is another wooden ride. So they have 2 wooden coasters there. And then a couple other unique rides as well, including the Steel Hog, the one that had the drop that was more than vertical. Yeah. So anyway, it would be interesting to see, and hopefully that does reopen, that they're able to find a new owner, because it's definitely a park that I'd like to get to at some point. But yeah, it's kind of sad with Fantasy Island. It's been a tradition in that part of New York for many, many, many years, and it's just sad for that region. They still have Darien Lake, and then a longer drive to Canada's Wonderland, but still, for a small park, it definitely had some charm to it. All right, so we'll see. No definitive timetable in terms of when everything is going to reopen. It's hard to know. The hopes are certainly May. But it just all depends on how things change and how things work out with the virus. So knock on wood that it'll be soon. But it's so sad in this year that there are some pretty good coasters opening up, and all that talk has kind of gone away. So in terms of your mind, and I know you've been away from the coaster and theme park world for a while, what coasters do you even remember are opening in 2020?
So I think the one at Kings Island.
Yes.
Give me a second. I remember it.
And while you're thinking about it, is it a Giga coaster or not?
Oh. I'm gonna say yes.
Whichever answer you gave it would have been fine, because it's not technically 300 feet tall, but it's more than a 300-foot drop. So that's that whole debate, which we've stayed away from.
I think it starts with an N.
Yes, it has an N in it. Orion. Very
Orion.
good.
Yes.
Yeah, you nailed it.
I
Exactly.
Knew that, yes.
Okay, so that's one. So Orion. Anything else that you remember that's opening up?
Not that really, really tall one.
Which one?
Never mind. Edit that out. Edit that out.
I'm not doing any editing anymore.
You are editing this.
I've had enough of that, unless you want to do it.
Okay. No clue.
That's
nope.
it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we've got Busch Gardens. Williamsburg has Pantheon, the launch coaster.
Okay.
Which we
I forgot about that
exactly.
one.
You forgot about all of them, apparently.
Except for Orion.
How about Great Adventure? You remember that park?
Oh, that one.
Like our home park away from home, sort of.
The raptor.
Right. It's sort of like a raptor.
It's like a devil themed.
Yeah, exactly. Jersey Devil, very good.
Yes.
We've got we could have certainly added that to news, but the tracks have been put down now, so that's a good sign. So that's one that even that media day we could absolutely get to, especially if school never reopens. So, or if the park never reopens.
If the park ever opens.
Exactly. So hopefully. So very good, the Jersey Devil coaster. SeaWorld had the Texas Stingray wooden coaster that opened up that's gotten really good reviews.
Yep.
And we've got Iron Gwazi, of course.
Yeah, I thought that was 2021, but I guess it's not.
Oh, yeah, no, I think there are trains on it, and it's pretty close to testing. No, I think it has been testing. I've seen footage of a couple of the sections. So that's been testing. No, that's pretty much done and ready to open up. So yeah, it's a pretty interesting mix of coasters, but there's been very little chat about it. just because everything is so on hold. And I know the theme park world, a lot of people are distressed at that, as by now Carowinds would have definitely been open in Kings Dominion. A lot of those southern parks and middle of the country parks would have been open by now. But
Texas.
Sadly, Texas, stays open now, exactly. And so in that way, that was one of the motivators for us starting back up, is to give some people, especially in the theme park world, a little bit more hope and excitement about things eventually getting better, and give them something to listen to. So if in any way we could help out a little bit for people, right?
Yes.
It's not a bad thing to do. Sort of our community service. Yep. Okay. So let's take a look at a little bit what we've been up to. And it's sort of a multi-part reason why it's been so long. And I didn't even realize it's been that long since we've put an episode out. Time just kind of flies after a while. And when we did our first episode all of those years ago by now, back when you didn't have a beard and you were only like 2 feet tall.
I was like 10.
Yeah, you were
9, yeah.
No, 8?
No, I don't think
I think this is our
Seven?
third year anniversary, something like that at this point. So way back when, we talked about getting through high school, getting you to high school before we were done with the podcast. So that is kind of our hope, and we don't want to be quitters, and so I think we like the idea of trying to keep going with the podcast. So let's take a look at what we've been up to and why we haven't uploaded an episode in so long. And funny enough, there were actually a couple of episodes that we had recorded that we didn't even put out.
Yeah.
For instance, one of them that we just never put up was our reactions to Six Flags announcements.
Oh, we didn't put that up. You didn't put that up.
We recorded it, but we just never put it up. So I guess it would be funny to put it up now. Well, they're still not open, those rides. So, but at some point, we could put that up. All right, so let's take a look, and let's start out with our first reason, which is directly theme park related. We've got a couple of reasons that aren't theme park related and one that is. And so, first of all, thinking about 2019 and our theme park season, how are you feeling about going to theme parks and doing roller coasters back in 2019?
What?
Yeah.
I have no clue.
How are you feeling about going to the same parks over and over and doing the same rides?
Oh, okay. I thought...
What language was I speaking?
I thought, eventually, just doing them a lot would eventually get old.
That's your answer?
Yes.
Wow.
Okay.
Would eventually get old. I think there were large points of last year where you had no interest in going to parks, and you were talking about kind of roller coasters not being as exciting anymore, not being as interested in them. That doesn't sound familiar?
Nope.
Selective memory. Okay. Well, I still enjoy them, but certainly I think for...
I like Great Adventure.
Okay, that is good.
No, she can talk.
And I think in a lot of ways, Alex still loves it. Maddie, who's getting bigger and bigger, who will be 5 this spring, and will be able to get onto more and more larger coasters in the next year to 2 years here, that she's still really excited about it. But I don't think it's something that really captures your heart the way it did.
I like baseball.
That's like the kid who says, I like turtles.
I like turtles.
Do you like...
Huh?
Didn't say anything. So I don't know.
I mean, I still do like coasters. I think what it is some of the coasters that I haven't ridden as much, like more specifically the 54-inch ones that I've only done like once or twice. I would like to go back to those parks and do those ones again. But like most of them that are still like much littler, like 48-inch or stuff like that, is the stuff that we do over and over again. But I would still like to go back to the park and do some of those 54-inch ones because I haven't done them much.
Well, it's interesting you say that because one of the perfect examples is Dorney Park, which is technically our Cedar Fair home park, and we went there twice last year.
Yeah.
Once for like a 3-hour stay to get like lunch on the way back home, and another time where we went for like 4 hours. We didn't go to the water park once, and just went to the dry park twice.
Didn't we do Halloween, their Halloween event?
Oh yeah, okay. So that might have been the third time.
Yeah.
So we have 2 short ones in the Halloween event. And the Halloween event is a perfect example at Dorney. So that was our third time going there. And how did we feel about those houses this past time?
Same exact thing.
Like nothing had changed in the 3 years.
There was no new houses. It was all the same. Same exact positions for the monsters. Same exact scenes for the houses and mazes. No difference.
Yeah, and so that's the disappointment. But even the couple times we did go, that you finally, last year got onto their two 54-inch coasters there with Hydra and Talon. And how did you feel about those?
I love those ones. I feel like they're very underrated.
You love them?
Wait, did I hate them?
You were like, well, I mean, that's kind of the whole point to this segment of, you were like,
they're okay.
You're like, they're okay, but I don't feel like we need to come back. I mean, Steel Force is fine, but by now that just feels so old. And, Dorney, who knows if they'll ever get a new coaster. It's been so many years. So in terms of that being our home Cedar Fair Park, it almost feels like by now, what's the real reason to go back? Although that new splash pad coming next year.
I need to go.
Right?
I need to go to the media day for that.
Oh my gosh. I don't know if we're big enough a podcast to get into the media day for that splash pad. So maybe in a couple of years, if we do a lot more episodes, we'd be able to get there. So that's big time.
Yeah.
That's big time.
We'll see. We'll look into it. We'll email the park.
But thinking about the rest of our 2019 year, we did Hollywood Nights, which was a ton of fun as always.
Yeah.
We did, I think, 2 Ohio trips, and that was mostly to see friends. Chris, and then the Icy Ohio
trio.
group, exactly, to see those guys. And we went to Canada's Wonderland was last year with Clinton Cherry, right?
Yeah.
So we did that. And as well as the media day there for their new coaster. But otherwise, we didn't even go to Six Flags New England once, and that's about 4.5 hours for us. And Six Flags New England, that's Superman, which I so want you to still do, to compare it to Millennium Force. But there's that, and then Goliath, if it's ever open there. I still want to try that. Even though it's supposed to be painful, hopefully it opens this year. Who knows?
It's worth it. We don't really.
Yeah.
Unless it's really bad, we're okay.
But that just shows, kind of how limited our travel was, that we didn't do New England. We didn't do America, I don't think. We went to Darien Lake a few times, since it's now part of the Six Flags chain. And so we did Kennywood a couple times. We did Hershey Park in September, which was a really fun trip that we'll talk about a little bit later on with in a future episode. But I'm just amazed when I see on Facebook the people, especially people connected to the Coaster Crew, who literally go multiple times every week. Like the Violas from Staten Island and New Jersey, we see them at Great Adventure a lot. Or Matt Coons and his crew. People who go like 3 times a week, 2 times a week, but every single week things are open. I'm amazed. Like, I really love coasters and theme parks, but I just don't think I could ever do it that much.
Like the same thing, like 3 to 4 times a week? Like, how?
Well, and people, especially when you say it like that, people who don't travel and for whatever reasons, health or monetary issues, who just have their home park and they'll go to their own home park 150 times in a year. It's like, I just can't even imagine.
I mean, we probably go to parks 2 times a month, 2, 3.
Yeah, in the summer maybe a little bit more, but last year it definitely wasn't much more than that. And, you're still, as you said, not that used to 54-inch rides. For instance, like Great Adventure has Superman or Green Lantern or Nitro.
I love those.
So those still haven't gotten old for you?
No, I've only done those like twice. I love Batman, Superman, Green Lantern. Like, Green Lantern doesn't hurt. And Bizarro. They don't hurt me at all.
Okay, so you haven't gotten at least sick of our technical home park there. Speaking of that, there's one coaster there that you still haven't done at Great Adventure.
Oh, gosh, no.
What? What does that mean, oh gosh, no? What haven't you done yet?
Their kiddie coaster.
Their kiddie coaster that's green and 450 foot tall? Okay.
And that goes like 100-something miles per hour.
By now... Is it 3 summers ago you did Top Thrill? I would
2.
guess. No, I would think it's 3. We haven't.
There's no way.
I would think it's 3 or 4. We haven't seen the Mosleys
2.
in forever. No way is it 2. We haven't seen the Mosleys in forever.
Are you sure?
Yeah, definitely. It's been at least 3, if not 4. So the point there is it's been a long time since you've done Top Thrill. You're not scared of anything. You can do King the Ka.
Yeah, I can.
So that's a guarantee. As soon as Great Adventure
You'll have
opens,
to bribe me, even though I'm not scared.
No.
Even though I'm not scared, I want something.
Okay, I'll give you a hug afterwards.
Okay. And no. Like ice cream.
Okay.
Or Takis.
Okay, I'll get you some Takis.
Yeah.
We could do that.
Okay.
All right. Well, so hopefully after 2019 we didn't go a ton, and 2020 is opening late, there'll be a newfound love, a resurgence of your feelings towards theme parks and roller coasters, so that in that way we could record more. And so there's the hope that, and maybe seeing the light in Maddie's eyes running these rides will inspire you to go on more stuff. No, you don't think so?
No.
You don't love her enough?
Nope.
Oh, that's not true. All right, well then let's get to the 2 indirect reasons why we haven't done theme parks as much and certainly haven't recorded in this time. And it has to do with 2 sports that we took up last year. And one sort of in the beginning of the year and one towards the end. And both of these sports are in the category of the fastest growing American sports as well as worldwide. So let's go first to the one that isn't as much of a part of our lives, but is slowly growing over time.
Okay.
And that is...
I'm way better at this. It's called disc golf.
Yeah, so disc golf. And it's funny, disc golf is a sport that when I met Melissa many, many moons ago in the late 90s, Rutgers had a course, and now we know, as we get more into the sport, that Rutgers was the first disc golf course on the East Coast. So it's a pretty historically significant course. And we had played it once, and I don't even remember really doing it, but we had our discs left over. And so somehow on my YouTube feed last fall, it was early last fall, something like September, I saw something come up for the disc golf professional tour, and I watched it, and I thought Andrew looked it up on my phone, and I was like, oh, that's interesting that you found that. And we started watching it and learning the sport, and since we play regular golf, ball golf, and love it, then we just got into disc golf and bought ourselves sets and started playing. And in the fall into the winter, we just started playing different courses. And have continued this spring. And it's one of the things that we're doing a lot during our little break here, right, bud?
Yep.
Although we need sunny days, and it looks like we have 6 rainy days in a row. But it's something that we love doing, and it's crazy, as I'm almost 6 feet tall, and Andrew's, 3.5 feet tall, something like that?
I'm 4'6". Almost 4'7".
And it's crazy. In a sport like ball golf, where I can drive at about 270 and Andrew can hit it about 160-ish.
160.
I crush it so much further than he does just because of my size.
Okay.
But disc golf, there are drives that he has where he drives it way past me. There are times I can get it past him too, but...
Well, when you get lucky or I hit a tree.
Right, you hit a tree and I catch the wind. Yeah, exactly. And so it's kind of interesting in that way that this is a sport that size doesn't seem to matter as much. And so it's a lot of fun. And hopefully at some point here in 2020, we actually will do a couple tournaments, not to be necessarily competitive, but just to, kind of have fun and see
it's all competitive.
It's all competitive. Yeah, okay. Well, I won't tell stories about your competitiveness, Mr. Competitive.
Okay.
Unless you want them to know.
I mean...
Yeah. So it's a ton of fun, and one of the things I love about it most is it's a way to get out into nature, to go hiking, to be in the woods. Those are my favorite courses that are out in the woods. We have a couple of friends, the Wilson brothers, down in Carolina, who play, and as we go along, we're meeting more and more people who play as well. And it's just a ton of fun, and having to negotiate the woods. And one of the scary things for us is we really don't play pond holes yet, as the kind of sadness of losing a disc would be so hard. That's the crazy thing about the sport is, for the most part, 98% of courses you don't have to pay for. They're like state parks or local parks or national parks, that type of thing. And you don't have to pay a fee, but you lose discs, and those can be anywhere from $10 to $25. So that's a ton of fun, and something that we really like to play, and we'll continue going as time goes on. We talked to Clint, who we were on with a little bit the other night on Facebook Live, that Clint plays it, and a few other people he knows. So that's something that we definitely want to continue. But to get to our other sport here, the other thing that has totally captured our lives now.
The
that
big
would be,
thing that you're obsessed with.
Whoa. Me?
Both
Mr.
of them.
Yeah, Mr. Who Wants to Go Professional.
Okay.
And that is?
Pickleball.
Which is a ridiculous name, and they talk about changing it all the time. Pickleball, that I think we mentioned once on a previous episode in passing. But pickleball, which is sort of like a mini tennis with paddles instead of wiffle balls, which is a huge growing
Paddles
sport.
instead of wiffle balls?
Paddles,
Paddles instead of rackets, and then wiffle balls instead of tennis balls.
Yeah. See, it was Maddie making noise upstairs that distracted me. That's
good
it.
excuse.
See, I'm a professional, but there's a lot of noise up there.
Okay.
And so this is a sport that we started last winter, last January, and you kind of just played recreationally until about the summer. When summer we went to Arizona and California, and you started playing against adults a little bit more. And then really in the fall is when we started playing with a lot of other good players. And now you and I are playing tournaments that we started in about November. So we've played, I think, now about 6 tournaments. And we've medaled in all of them. And it's interesting, with tournaments, does that mean you're playing against other kids, being that you're 11?
Oh, no. I play against 30, 40, 20-year-old men.
Yeah, so this is the cool part. That it's a sport where I played tennis and racquetball for years, but it's a sport that I can play against other men with. Andrew. Tennis, he's so short that tennis would be hard to actually play tournaments with him yet. But pickleball, height's not as important. So it's really cool that we've medaled in every single tournament we've had. You even won a gold medal in men's singles against grown men at your ability level. So that was pretty cool. And it's getting to the point where we've talked to some companies about potential sponsorships, as he's playing way above his age level, where he's already playing at the 3.5 to 4.0 level at 11. So we'll, I think, sometime over this summer, pick a company to get sponsored by you, which will be pretty cool. And through pickleball, not only is it the successes that he has, and when we go to tournaments, people are just kind of shocked at the shots he makes as a little kid. I loved one of the questions you got at a recent tournament when someone saw you. Wasn't it a tournament that someone asked you a very strange question recently? Or maybe it was when we played rec, but didn't someone ask you if you knew the rules?
Yeah, I think that was a tournament.
Right? Wasn't that the New York Open at the Nassau Coliseum? Someone asked you if you knew the rules.
Like, what? Yeah. So it was after the singles tournament day, and pretty much everybody was done with their tournament, and Alex and I were just hitting, and then a guy came up to me and was like, "Do you know the rules?" And then I was like, yeah, I just won gold medal in singles.
So that would have been hilarious, actually, if you didn't give any answer at all, walked over your bag, got your medal out, and just held it in front of him. How's that for rules, mister?
How's that?
No, but we don't want to be disrespectful. You're a Boy Scout.
It's okay.
You've got a Scout oath, and I'm sure is respectful one of the words?
No.
Is it?
No. Wait.
No, but seriously, is respectful one of the words in your oath? Wait, he's going through it in his head.
No, that's the wrong one.
Okay. A Scout will be respectful.
No, it does not say respectful.
Then I stand corrected. You don't need to be respectful. All right. There we go.
Can rub it in his face.
Yeah. And so we played a bunch of tournaments recently, and that's one of the things that stinks about this whole virus outbreak, not to make light of all the other huge issues, but we were getting into a really good groove and playing a ton. Now we can only kind of hit with each other until things improve and get better, but it's just something we absolutely love and it's just fun to be a team and watch him grow and see people's reactions to him. And he really wants to grow the sport and do potentially some video lessons to help juniors and kids get into it, as it's just such a ton of fun. And the best part about it is we've, just like the theme park community, where we have such good friends that we've been connected to and met, the pickleball community is just so welcoming and wonderful, meeting people all throughout the country, and in that way, it's been such a great experience that all the way from York, Pennsylvania, to Lavallette, New Jersey, and Toms River, and Prescott Valley, Arizona, and Sacramento, California. We've just met a great group of people who've been really supportive of Andrew, because when people first see him, they're like, oh, I don't know if we want to play with a kid.
Yeah,
right?
That's why I get nervous when we go to new places and play with people, because I don't know if they want to play with me, because at first they'll probably think I'm bad, but then I turn out to be better than all of them. So
Whoa. Humble. Let's be a little bit humble.
No,
I'm
just trying to speak the truth. I'm sorry.
I think there might be a couple of people here and there who are actually better than you.
I don't know.
See, I don't build any of this stuff. This isn't me talking. So,
It is.
But in all seriousness, it really is a lot of fun, and I can't wait to get back to playing tournaments with you and connecting to the theme park world. I think we're going to try to connect potentially a lot of our future tournaments with theme parks. For instance, one of the tour events that happens, I think in either June or July, is in Cincinnati. I think it might be early June, possibly. So the potential of playing pickleball in Cincinnati and then going to Kings Island,
Maybe seeing our friends
in Cincinnati. You know, like Chris and the IEC crew and all that, as well as maybe jump on Orion. We'll see. So if we could combine those different things that we love, that would be really, really cool. All right. Well, so as we said, we really want to keep the podcast going. One of the things I think we're going to try to do is shorter episodes we talked about, right? We've heard different disc golf and as well as pickleball podcasts that are 5-minute episodes. We're not going to go that short, I don't think. 8-minute episodes, that kind of thing. So we're going to try to do shorter ones, as well as not doing as much editing as I've done in the past.
Yes.
Where, as you know, sometimes it would take me 3 hours,
It takes you
4 hours
so long to edit out every little voice tech,
But as you said, when you make mistakes, I don't have to edit you out now, right? So,
Yes.
So that is okay, because you're not perfect, and that's all right.
Well,
Even if I might be.
that's questionable.
Oh, it's definitely questionable. I agree there. So we're going to try to do shorter episodes, a lot of different things. What we want to do definitely in 2020 is to chat with a lot of our friends. We were just on Facebook Live with a good number of them, including when we were on with Clinton Sherry, and talking to some of those people and our other friends from the community, like Chris from Columbus and Brian and the Wilson brothers and all of that crew who we know so well. Our good buddy Slater, who some of our favorite episodes have been with him, or him helping us out, as I was on Ride This One a number of months ago, which sort of got me rekindled into doing this whole thing. So we'd love to just incorporate friends and buddies and chat with people from the industry as well. Maybe get to a couple of media days, at least Jersey Devil, and we'll see other things if they're possible. And really get back our love of the theme park world. So we've got a few episodes coming up here pretty soon. We're going to record just in this stretch of time here. I want to talk about our West Coast trip, where I went to see my mom out in Arizona, got to California, and went to what park in California?
Oh, Magic Mountain?
Magic Mountain. So we definitely want to chat about that, as that is such a magical spot for a lot of people in the theme park world. So we definitely have to chat about that. I want to talk about going to the Kennywood Media Day for Steel Curtain with Alex. So I'll do that short little episode with him, as that was a really fun day. And I remember it like it was yesterday, even if it was a very, very, very long time ago. And I also want to talk about our trip to Hershey Park, as you got to do all the 54-inch coasters for the first time last September when we went to Hershey Park as a whole family with Maddie and Mom and Alex as well. So we'll chat about that Hershey Park one as well. So we're going to try to put a lot more out here, as I know a lot of people are stuck at home looking for things to do, even if you're going on bike rides or going on jogs or playing disc golf, whatever it happens to be, getting outside. We're going to try to put out some episodes. So with that, let's have our tip of the day.
Tip of the day, tip of the day. It's the tip of the day. Tip of the day, tip of the day. It's the tip of the day. Yeah.
And for our tip of the day, it's just that general idea, is in this time of difficulty, coming up with a new hobby, finding something new that you like. For us, it is disc golf, right? I mean, we can't really play pickleball with lots of other people right now. So disc golf, we can social distance.
It's just you, me, Alex, by ourselves.
And sometimes
in
Maddie,
the wild.
because she loves it.
Yeah, yes.
Yep. And so it's a great way to spend 3 hours going through nature, trying to improve ourselves. And it's an interesting sport in that way that I'm not used to struggling with a new sport like this. I'll have some good holes in them, some 7s and 8s. And so it's been fun to really think about the strategy of it. But even if it's just doing something like looking up POVs of coasters that you haven't done before, and as to a way to excite you about a park you haven't been to or something like that, just different new ways of kind of refocusing the mind. One of the things that we've been doing is reading a bit more. And what have you been reading lately?
I've been reading Under the Dome by Stephen King.
Okay, so Under the Dome, which is a lengthy one that's like 1,100 pages?
Like 1,100 something pages.
And what King one did you finish before that?
So I've recently finished, I just finished The Shining, and in the summer I finished Pet Cemetery.
And The Mist. Yeah, so it's cool that you're going through his log. I know Brian and Tim, The Shining is one of their favorite horror movies of all time. So it was cool that I finally got to read it. And it was interesting noting the differences between the book and the movie. That The Shining is a beloved movie, although Stephen King is not one of the ones who loves it because of how many changes were made from the book to the movie. So it's kind of interesting to see that original manuscript in the book. And noting that there's no way in the early 1980s they could have done a lot of the scenes that Stephen King wanted. The hedge animals that come to life in the book, I don't see how they could have done it in 1980. There were no computer-generated graphics, and animatronic bush animals probably would have looked ridiculous. So I can understand it. Some of the criticisms about the character that Stephen King had, that Jack was just crazy right off the bat, I can understand as well. And so speaking of that, I think we're going to talk to Brian and Tim pretty soon about doing your episode for Civil Gore and that podcast at some point here pretty soon. So thanks for staying with us. If you've been following social media and all that throughout the time, we appreciate you guys hanging on, and we are thankful to have you all in the audience, and really look forward to getting back to things and being a part of your lives again. So those other episodes we talked about we'll be putting out here pretty soon. So thanks for listening, and check us out on social media and any of those places, as we hope to be reporting from parks pretty soon once they open. The coronavirus has made us all reroute.
But we try to have some fun. TPF, Andrew out.
See ya.